Welcome to Let's Play Rule the Waves 3 as Germany starting in 1935. It's August 1954, and last time we had a really nice time having a little nerdy noodle around the options for the fleet, and I just want to carry that on to look at the destroyers, which will be fun, and then looking at budget cuts. Yeah, maybe less fun, but, we are deficit spending at the moment. We need to bring that under control and get back into surplus so we can continue to build and modernize the Navy over the next half decade before the next war comes along. So, let's have a look at the destroyer options first. Here they all are, the automatic ones. There's a couple removed because they were illegal. They were illegal because they were 3,600 tons, and we only have a limit of 3,500 at the moment. So these are all the legal ones. Fewer choices than we had for the cruisers because smaller ships, just, less you can realistically do with them. For comparison, I've added Z130 along the bottom here, which is the latest of my series of fleet destroyers. And actually, I think it compares pretty well. You'll notice, if we look at the automatically generated ones, they range from 10,000 to 17,000 total cost, so quite a bit of variation. Z130 is 15,000, towards the upper end, but certainly not the most expensive. In terms of surface volley attack, it actually has the strongest, with 4 heavy surface-to-surface missiles, plus 4 reloads, plus 4 torpedo tubes. The AI doesn't seem to like reloads for some reason and rarely seems to add them. So yeah, very happy with that. A lot of firepower in that. And behind the volley, there is the sustained surface strike. And again, we've got the most powerful with 4 6-inch guns rather than this array of 5 and 4-inch guns. Now, you can reasonably argue that 8 5-inch guns is arguably better than 4 6-inch guns because you're doubling the hit opportunity. You're doubling the time to hit effectively. Yes, each hit will be less effective because the shell weight is lighter, but against unarmored targets, that probably doesn't matter. And it also gives you the heavy AA. So I had discounted heavy AA as being ineffective, and I was probably wrong in that. Destroyers can't take medium SAMs until they go into that 3,600 threshold. That's the minimum for a medium SAM. So the only area air defense they can do is heavy AA. But there have been and will continue to be improvements in heavy AA, and they certainly seem to have an impact in the last war. So it's certainly a viable choice to replace the 6-inch guns, heavy hitters though they are, with a bigger battery of 5-inch guns and enjoy the extra benefit of some heavy AA as well. Self-air defense is fine. I've discounted the impact of light AA, and I think I'm right in that. Until we get to close-in weapon systems, I can't really see what somebody with an Oerlikon popping away at a jet attack fighter who's loosed off a missile anyhow is really going to contribute to the party. The Z130 has the strongest ASW of any of them, which also is nice. We could lose. I imagine some of the ASW technology is going to be obsolete soon, like depth charge throwers and stuff like that. And we have a reasonable complement of mines as well. So yeah, Z130 comes out as a good choice with an alternative with 8 5-inch and some heavy AA as being a definite possibility, having reviewed all of these current destroyer options. However, when we are allowed to build 3,600-ton destroyers, then slipping in a SAM may well be on the cards to improve the fleet's area air defense. Here are the two that weren't allowed. Although notionally they could have SAM missiles, they weren't fitted. One of them went up to 6-inch guns, so my own 6-inch gun option is obviously definitely a possibility, but yeah, to come. Okay, that's the fun with the destroyers. Let's have a little look at the budget circumstance. So, we need to save money. We will run out of our piggy bank of money in 7.5 months. We'll go broke. Here is the current cost of various items, and here are some of the potential savings, some of which I've already made. So construction, 22,800. In about 4, 5, 7 months' time, the 3 big carriers will be completed, and together they will save us 13,000. Now, I won't realize all 13,000 of that, because obviously some money will be needed for general maintenance to keep them going, plus the cost of the air wings, plus the cost of working up. So it won't realize it all, but it will be a big help. And you could say, well, Dickie, why didn't you just wait? Why didn't you just wait till the carriers are done and then all of your budgetary problems will be solved? Well, yes, that is nice to know, but it's also interesting to see what other things I can do and what impact that would have. Maintenance is running at 18,000, and if you hover over the maintenance button, you get these for ship maintenance, submarine maintenance, missile maintenance, and also a couple for airbase maintenance and coastal battery maintenance, but they're trivial. And yes, these 3 do not add up to that, and I don't understand it. And if you do understand it, please let me know, because that's an odd thing. Anyhow, we then have aircraft. Well, I've already trimmed that down to 7,800. I could trim, and have indeed trimmed a little bit more, but I'm reluctant to have too much of a go with that. Research, 4,600, not going to touch that. Training and intelligence is 980. I could lower intelligence against France down to 70, so a little bit. I mean, it's, you know, all bits and bobs. The missiles could be cut by nearly 2,000 if I went from plentiful to adequate. Not sure about that. Let's have a look at the ship types. So here are the different ship types, and here's how much you would save if you put them in reserve or put them into mothballs. So first thing you'll notice, of course, is the big ships have the big savings and the little ships don't. So yeah, I could put all the destroyer escorts and all of the corvettes into mothball and save nearly 1,000. But recent updates to the game have attempted to persuade you not to do that, because if you do, your crew quality will hit the floor, and the ASW effectiveness is directly related to crew quality. Now, you could take the view that if it's 5 years to the next war, I could save 4 years worth of expenditure on these ships and then build them up in the year before war occurs. And yeah, I mean, that's a calculated risk. Obviously, wars can sometimes happen very suddenly. So yeah, all sorts of savings, but easily the most attractive are the battle cruisers, particularly if I'm going to be refitting the battle cruisers soon-ish. Particularly when heavy SAMs come along. I think that's in about 18 months' time or thereabouts. So yeah, this is what I started with. With a bit of cheese pairing, this is what I've managed to bring it down. I could bring it down a lot by cutting missiles, but I don't like the sound of it. I mean, plentiful supply is what it says. if you go to adequate, you may run out of missiles, and missile production takes about 18 months to fully ramp up. And of course, 18 months, well, I mean, that could be the entire course of a war, or indeed, some of the most significant battles of the war. So, yeah, I'm until I have to, I'm going to keep missiles at plentiful. If I put all of the battle cruisers into reserve, I could bring it down again a fair bit. I don't think I'll do that, but it's definitely worth a think. Certainly 2 of the battle cruisers haven't been refitted, will be refitted. They could go into reserve. So yeah, those are the spending options. Let's have a little look at what we're going to do in practice. Zoom into this, and yeah, we've got a few things going on. So the Scharnhorst is in refits, as is Manfred von Richthofen. The Blücher is in foreign station. Not sure why it thinks the Baltic is foreign. I might just send it to West Africa. Actually, no, that's probably wrong. I should send it to the Mediterranean. Then the rest, we're all pretty good. We're elites and all of that kind of stuff. Oh, here's that thing I mentioned. So if you go to the maintenance line and you hover over this first figure, you get this tooltip that shows you ship maintenance, coastal artillery, airfield, submarine, and missile storage, which is all very helpful. Although, weirdly, the sums don't add up. So my maintenance is 18,500. It's saying 16,500 for ships, 5,700 for missile. Well, that alone takes it well into the 20,000s. So yeah, not sure of the maths there. Anyhow, the big number is minus 7,600. I could put, for example, these 2 battle cruisers, the 2 Stauffenbergs, which haven't been modernized for a while, since 51, so they don't have SAMs. I could put them into reserve, or indeed mothball, and wait for the development, or either refit them, which I probably won't do because that'd be quite expensive, or wait until heavy SAMs come along. So heavy SAMs, 1956-ish. Then later in 59, a number of really important missile developments around the allowance of quadruple launchers for heavy SAMs, light SAMs, double launchers as well. So a big variety of options going on then. So now the trouble is the Stauffenbergs have an elite crew. Oh, so sad to lose them. But let's be honest, there's not going to be a war. Let's be hard and let's mothball them. Yep. And that takes us to 6,000. So we've saved 1,700 there, which, will help things. Take out these funds at 61,000 to 10 months worth. So, okay. I don't really feel or want to do much else other than that at the moment. So let's press the turn and go into September and see what that brings. Well, it brings helicopters. So let's see what the first generation of helicopter looks like. So this Junkers 226 looks the winner to me. Second fastest max speed, not that that matters, and reasonable cruise speed as a consequence. Longest range, so at heavy, out to 104 miles. Not that light takes it out much further, but range is good. Firepower, nothing. Maneuverability, so it's one of the most maneuverable, one of the toughest. Doesn't carry any weapons, that's fine. And yeah, I'll have that one. Thank you very much. And the Navy's statistical department has calculated the air stats for the air war. Okay, so first of all, not many shot down. Much dinking around in low visibility and stormy seas trying to find each other, but actually not a lot. So only 29 planes shot down. 70%, give or take, by fighters, 3% by others. Heavy AA, I mean, 14%. That's, I'll have that. That's respectable. Medium AA, 14%. Light, nothing. SAMs, nothing. But it's not really a fair test. Had we had carrier battles in the North or Norwegian Sea, then we would have seen, or up near Iceland, we would have seen a different result. But definitely, heavy AA is not worthless as I thought. So, okay, helpful. Good to know. Messages. So, nothing of any great consequences. With the Junkers now in development, 8 months before we actually get it, but it means we can request a proposal for a new aircraft. And the new aircraft, well, we certainly could ask for a light jet. I've obsoleted the current light jet, not to lose it, but to stop it being manufactured, really. But really, the heavy jet or the jet attack. Now, the jet attack is very, very recent. It's a 54 model, whereas the heavy jet is a 53 model. So I'm going to ask for a heavy jet. 53. So I've just had a quick look to see what we know of other people's heavy jet fighters, and so far as we know, only us and the British have developed them yet. Go us. And then much of a muchness. Speed within 40 miles an hour of each other. Range is largely comparable. So if I look at my medium range, I'm slightly better than the others. Firepower, fine. Bomb load, not too bad. So, yeah. So I definitely want reliability, because with poor reliability at the moment, it's, bound to be. It's new technology and all of that. So anything to improve the reliability would be great. And then it's a question either of speed or of range. Speed, of course, because that's one of the major determinants of success in air-to-air combat. And range, because, we're a bit tight at 294 nautical miles. I mean, yes, that's at heavy. So I should probably be looking at light, which is 500. So actually 500 as an escort, I mean, that's pretty good. So I'm going to go for speed as my second. So let's press that. Let's do that one and get that one off and see what happens with that. Okay. Monthly balance, hooray, has come down to 5,900. If we have a look around, we can see tensions are universally low. Obviously, the French are a bit grudgy with us, but understandable. The Italians are still allies. Everyone else is fine. So, yeah, that all seems pretty straightforward. Let's go into October. So, do we get rid of the hapless captain of Mainz, or do we support him and take a hit on prestige? Yeah, he may be a poor ship handler. Oops. But he's otherwise above average. So I'd like to keep him, and I'll just, 55 prestige. That's fine. That seems like a good thing to spend a prestige point on. Or several prestige points. I didn't realize it would cost quite that much. That might have coloured my thinking if it said, and it'll cost you 4 prestige. Whew. Anyhow, it's done. So a few bits and bobs here. First of all, Britain has halted construction of a light cruiser because of financial difficulties. Well, that's very interesting. One of our carriers has been delayed by unexpected delays in building it, so boo to that. Oh well. Our admiral in the Baltic has retired and is being replaced by a below average admiral. Hooray! We'll have to I think I'll probably let that slide for the moment, but we'll definitely have to have a look at that should the Soviet Union get annoyed with us. And then the British seem to have invented some things. The Higgins boat? That seems like a 1930s technology or something. I don't know what's happening there. Okay. And let's go to November. The old gunboat diplomacy. Well, if we send a battleship, we get plus budget, double plus prestige, and double plus tension. So that seems fun. Obviously, we might actually get a colony, which would increase our colonial foreign stationary things a bit, which might be subpar. Unexpected advances in torpedoes. That's nice. And explosives increases heavy surface-to-surface missile armor penetration. Nice. And here's the month's things. So again, the British have had to increase naval spending, but also halt construction due to financial difficulties of a light cruiser. The French have halted construction on a carrier because of financial difficulties as well. And then if we come down, otherwise, all good. Well, that's taken tensions up to 7 for France and 5 for Britain, and also 4 for the Soviet Union. Nothing really to worry about. Surely France has had enough of being defeated. Importantly, the monthly balance is now at minus 3,000, so that's all going splendidly well, particularly as our carriers are, oh well, 2 of them in only 2 months away. So that's really nice. Really looking forward to them arriving. And into December. Woohoo! So, very, very ordinary. 491 nautical miles. That's very poor. So yeah, top speed 145. Must seem like standing still compared to jets whizzing round at over 600 miles. And someone else's also. Right, this is us, surely. No to all the air bases. Can carry a heavier bomb load than our jet attack. Well, I'm not really bothered with bomb load. I want missiles on those planes. So once again, Britain's had to increase its naval spending, and France had to increase its naval spending as well. I wonder if that's having any kind of impact on levels of unrest or anything like that. I don't think the almanac tells you that. So no, it doesn't seem to. And then finally, into the beginning of 1955. Modern crew quarters need to be more spacious to keep up crew quality unless government type is communism. Who'd want to be in a communist regime? So, the coastal submarines that we started building are finally coming through. Trouble reaching its design speed. Really? Is that still a thing? And aerial data link improves cap effectiveness and reduces report delay. Nice. That's a lovely tech. Radar guided SAMs increases SAM hit rate and range. Enjoying both of those very much. So the British have had to increase their spending for a third month in succession. Don't know what's going on there. We have a new captain for the new carrier. We don't know what he is. But our above average aviator captain is being put in charge of the second carrier. Well, how often does that happen? And some other stuff. But otherwise, all is good, and our monthly balance is in the positive. So we can think about what we want to do from the start of 1955. Okay, so I've been tweaking with what do I do with 128 aeroplanes on a carrier deck, spot value of 62. Do the maths really add up when you subtract 20 aircraft for the mixed squadron? Short answer, no. So I've gone for 3 jet attack squadrons, each of 16, and 4 heavy jet fighters, each of, should be 15 actually. I can change this number, bring that to 15, and then take this up to 15. Let me just bring this in here. And yeah, 128. Okay, so 15s for the heavies and 16s for the jet attacks. Obviously, there's more heavy jet fighters for the cap and all of that. And yeah, pretty happy with that actually. And then I've copied and pasted that over to the second carrier. I fiddle with the names because the names are all weird, so I've just actually given them sensible names. So yeah, obviously that's going to take them a fair amount of time to generate the production to equip these carriers, but you know, that's a good problem to have as well. Let me know if you have any opinions about that, but that seems to be well balanced. For the old carriers, I'm currently keeping them as multi-role carriers, but there's definitely an option to convert one or more to be cap-only carriers. So that's certainly something I'm ticking over it in the back of my mind. Right, that's that. Next time we will do an annual review, of course, and set the bar for the next few years, and then rattle through the months as the Navy goes from strength to strength. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.